Hey guys, Ted Bogert here. Welcome back to the TED Show. Very excited to have this talented young lady on the show. It's Madonna Alexis. She's with Primadonna Magazine. She's a personal branding motivator, mentor, all sorts of empowerment words I would use to surround her and what she does and gives back to the community. And I'm excited to have her on the show. Welcome, Madonna. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much, Ted, for having me on. I'm so elated. So let's dive into it.
Let's do it. All right. So I told you before we went live that the audience loves to know an origin story. They want to know about you and kind of how you got from your start to where you're at now and a little bit along the journey. So share with us your update on your life and how you got here, actually.
Okay. Well, initially, I'm from New York. My parents are Caribbean and Spanish and Haitian, and I'm from New York. Came to Central Florida, wanted to do something different with my life. Initially, I used to do a lot of working with cosmetic brands and, handling beauty, skincare, and all that kind of stuff. And I wanted something different once I came to Central Florida because I knew that God was calling me to do more. So once I got to Florida, I bounced around a lot, working a lot of sales and marketing companies, worked with a lot of multi-million-dollar companies and doing a lot of sales and marketing on the phones for high-end clients and selling, packages for, like anything from broker advising, things for financial sales. I did all of that for a long time on the phone. So I was making money for other companies, and I was like, wow, God really gave me an ability to connect with people. And I saw that He was calling me in that direction. So from bouncing around, not really being fulfilled, one day God just gave me the idea of media. He gave me the idea of having the publication because as I was a young girl, I was obsessed with fashion, beauty, lifestyle, and He gave me the opportunity and He put all of these talents inside of me, and I knew that they would come out one day. And once He
Right.
told me to do the magazine, I noticed all of my skill set were actually great for the magazine, for the lifestyle show that we're having with the magazine. We have a lifestyle show that's in production right now. It's intentional living with Primadonna Magazine. So we're building that. I'm building a women's network where I'm trying to inspire spiritual entrepreneur women to become the best version of themselves. So everything has been a journey, but what's really interesting, Ted, is that everything that God puts in you is already there for you to become the best version of yourself. That's so interesting, right? When you were a child, you probably had all of these skills already. You probably were talking to a lot of people. You probably was a funny guy, charismatic. You probably had all that stuff going on already. And here you are doing a show. So it's really interesting how our journey takes you to where you're supposed to be. I
Agreed.
hope that answers
Amen.
your question. Yeah.
It did. No, so I've got questions from that. A magazine. So, why a magazine? I understand that fashion magazines. You had a joy of those. You love those. You love looking at them, reading them, seeing all the trends. But owning one and running one and creating one is a completely different animal. Talk about the process there because it people don't understand how much work goes into a
Whew.
magazine.
Yeah, it's a lot. I had no skill set when it comes to publishing. I didn't know what I was doing. And to be quite honest with you, I still don't know what I'm doing. It's still
Be
a learning
honest.
process. I make a lot of mistakes. I've lost hundreds of thousands of dollars doing events, doing things with no purpose behind them, fashion shows and networking and it really for no reason because I thought I got to get the name out there, the brand out there. But what I should have been concentrating on was building the circulation, right? Building people that had an interest in the publication and doing things like that and having a really clear vision of what is the magazine truly about. So my intention was it's to inspire, to motivate women of all different ethnicities with substance and style. However, I got so caught up in the style element, I forgot about the substance. I just went cray cray. I started going to the fashion shows. I was meeting people. I was networking, and I forgot all about the meat and the juice of the magazine. So God had to sit me down for a little bit, and He had to really rebuild me from the inside out, so I can kind of focus on what He's telling me to do. And what He's telling me to do in this season is to take this magazine and really inspire and motivate women from the inside out to know that God has a plan and a purpose for your life, that nothing is by coincidence, everything is intentional. And we want to do that with style. We want to talk about our adversities, things that we've overcome, what's going on in the world. We want to see how that relates to us and how we become a shining, I would say, a shining Christian for the marketplace. So my brand and the CEO of my brand is God, and I'm very transparent about that. I'm excited about that. I love that, and I just want God to use me as a vessel. So let me just show you something that I found here. I think is really interesting. Just to go on the point that I was saying. Now, if you look at these pictures of me, this is me when I was younger, right?
Let's give you a space, give you up close.
Look at this. Look at my room. Look at my room. I was obsessed with modeling, fashion. Look at the magazines and the pictures all on my wall. So you see, nothing is a coincidence. Everything is full circle moments. Let me tell you, God knows what He's doing. He has a sense of humor, for sure. And I just think right now He's just teaching me to take this publication and this idea to just kind of build it where I can inspire, motivate, encourage, equip women to understand that just because you're a Christian doesn't mean that you're not relevant. Just because you're a Christian doesn't mean that you can't be fabulous in the marketplace. Just because you're a Christian doesn't mean that you're not powerful in a way that the world will respect you. You may not necessarily agree with my views, but however, you have to respect me, that I am a child of God, and I am who said God says I am, and I can do what He says I can do, and that's the whole point. Right? We have to be a light in this world. So that's the magazine.
Have to be. And you have a light. I love it. I love when people talk passionately about their passion, which you obviously do. Where did before we continue on what some of the shifts are that are coming up in your business, let's talk about faith a little bit. Have you always been a faith-based person? Did you know that you wanted, because I believe our businesses are ministries of some kind. I believe everything I do is a ministry of some kind, is a mission. Yeah. Did you always know that in your earliest days of being an entrepreneur? Did you know that was always going to be a part of it, or did you have to kind of learn how to integrate it?
That's a great question. And to be honest with you, no, I don't think I've always known that. Initially from New York, I started doing fashion shows when I was in New York, doing beauty and fashion. And when I came to Central Florida, I was already saved. I knew the Lord as my Savior, but I was still not walking the walk and talking the talk at that point. He wasn't the driver in my life, So I had to kind of learn and bruise myself to know that the gifts that I've given you is for the kingdom of God, is to bring glory to God, not to you, Madonna. You have a seat. You're just a vehicle that I'm using, So I had to learn that through going through adversity, heartbreak, disappointment, a lot of those things. And God just began to become so real to me that He changed my life, like inside out. Like even now, I know that life is not perfect. I have some challenges that are going on. Nevertheless, I know that God is able, and I know that He's going to get me through just like He's gotten me through before. So it's a big shift the way that I am today than when I started, because I was cray. And ironically, I just finished my book, and when I read it, I'm like, wow, I can see like how God, His hand was always there, even in the midst of just doing crazy stuff, doing things that I shouldn't have, been doing, and all of that. He's always been there, tapping my shoulder, letting me know, guiding me this way. And now He has me here. So now I'm really hopeful, and I'm excited to find out what is it that He wants me to do before I leave this earth.
Isn't it great when you lay that at His feet and you just know it's all going to be whatever He wants it to be, and then you just let it go. It's that letting go of it and trusting, which is very hard for most people. It's even people who are longtime Christians or people of faith, to just lay it there and let it go. Whew, it is a lot, and it's something I fail at on a regular basis. I can tell you that.
Well, it's great that
Um,
you're admitting it. So, my pastor, Nick Scaglione, he says, admit it and quit it. So, if you find that you struggle with that, right? Because me, I'm a control freak, right? Because I think I'm a
Me
perfectionist.
too.
But I've learned that I'm not a perfectionist because nothing in this life is going to be perfect. So, with that understanding now and that revelation, I'm able to just say, you know what, God, you are the author and finisher of everything. You are the ultimate artist. Have your way. Have your way with me. So once I begin to surrender, it's like the weight. Oh my God, the
That's the word.
weight.
Surrender. Surrender was the
Surrender.
word.
Yes,
Nobody
yes.
likes that word because it has such a negative connotation out in
Connotation,
the world.
yes.
So I encourage people to look up that word, whatever your faith is, look
Mm-hmm.
up that word and try to practice that in whatever way you can because it's life changing. But like you noted, I go back to times where I have not done that. And I always look back and go, what was I thinking? All right, let's talk about shift. So you're shifting. You've got God's obviously put some shifts on your mind, heart, and soul and spirit. Tell
Yeah.
us about the shift that you're involved in and making.
Okay. Well, initially, as we were talking before, I had the magazine that was pretty much going to be quarterly. The magazine come out quarterly to have distribution throughout the state of Florida and then go into other markets. That did not happen the way that I wanted because when you think about having a magazine in circulation, the cost on that is extremely expensive. So what I started to do was thinking maybe I can just do it digitally. So I was trying to get the magazine going on a regular basis, digital, and to do that. And I kept having roadblock after roadblock after roadblock. I just couldn't understand it. I even got to the point where I was going to get some investors, millionaires that were going to invest into Primadonna, and I was so excited, and it didn't come through, right? And then I'm just like, everything I'm trying, it seems like it's failing. So then after a while, as I said, I took a seat back, took some steps back to see what God had me to do. So now what he's really having me do, when I think about it, when I went to college, Buffalo University, I went to school because I wanted to be a teacher, and I studied marketing as well when I was in school, right? And I wanted to be a teacher because my mom was also a teacher and a nurse. So when I thought about that and the way that I talk to people and in the magazine, the articles, and the way that I'm always ministering and teaching to, all the women, I do my hosting with my Zoom meetings. And I noticed I've been doing this all along. So God shifted the magazine into a mentorship program. And he has the magazine focusing on a talk show that we're going to have in conjunction with the magazine, where I feature spiritual entrepreneur women that want to expose their brand, get a little bit of media, and then get some information they can get printed in the magazine. And then I'll have an academy where we host classes and mentorship to become the best version of ourselves. So that is a complete shift from what I was
Huge.
thinking. Huge. And I'm like, and I know for sure it's God because I don't dream that big.
Right.
It's not
Right.
me. I'm
Right.
thinking of a small little magazine that's cute and fashion, and this is what I'm. And God has a bigger plan, so
Always, right?
always,
Always a
yeah.
bigger plan. We get caught up. I mean, I know I do. I can speak for myself. I get caught up, and sometimes I listen to that voice that I know is I'm supposed to listen to, and other times I'm like, "No, that's not it. Sorry, I know I hear you, but that can't
But
possibly be it."
mm-hmm.
So, the message here, and I'm so glad that you brought up a lot of this, is that as people of faith, we have our own struggles. We make our own mistakes. We're human, but like your pastor said, what did he say? Something and quit it.
Admit it, admit it,
Admit it and quit it.
and quit it.
I
Whatever
like it.
whatever that it is. And just to kind of give a testimony, I hope this helps somebody. Like when I was growing up, like I used to party a lot in New York City. I used to 15 years old, walking, going to clubs, 15 years old. I looked older than I really was. But I used to go to clubs and never did drugs, but I used to drink a lot. So I've drank since I was 15 all the way into adulthood. And it's something that I did not want to get rid of. It was something that I felt like was part of me. My cute wine glasses, my drink, I hang out, I have my brunches, we got to drink, right? And after a while, as an ordained minister, I started looking at this and I was like, I know it's not good. My husband would tell me I act crazy when I'm drinking. My friends would tell me that. Oh, I mean, they said you're like a different personality. So you know what would happen? The old me would come out. All the old habits, my potty mouth, all those things would come out. So when I started noticing that it wasn't attractive anymore, I asked God to help me to take it away, to take away the desire, because I had to admit to him that I love to drink. I like to drink. I'm not going to say I was an alcoholic, but I like to drink. I like to have a good time. And I went to the altar. I asked him, take it away from me and to make me don't have the desire anymore. And he has done it. If you would have told me
Awesome.
2 years plus, I would not have had any alcohol, don't drink, and I'm around parties, people drinking, my husband drinks. I mean, and for me just to be like, no, I'll have my mocktail, my mock cocktail looks so pretty with no alcohol, I would have never believed it. So the reason I said all of that to say, God is able to do exceedingly above all that we ask or think. Anything that you have a struggle with, if you're having a struggle with power, authority, you're having a struggle with, I smoke too much, or I like too much women, or partying, or whatever the thing is, right? Whatever the gist is, he can help you with it if you are willing, if you humble yourself and ask God for help, because he is the help. He is. I'm telling you, he's amazing.
Amen.
He's
Amen.
amazing. He is.
I agree. I 100% agree. All right. Primadonna Magazine, Madonna Alexis, tell us the best way that they can find out more about all of the amazing things you're doing. How can they reach you? Where can they go?
Okay, well, they can go to primadonnamagazine.com. That website is going to be updated a little bit, and, social media, Instagram, Facebook, Primadonna Magazine. And I'm getting ready to put this new system into place, when God says so, when it's the right time. So I'm excited about it. We're also hosting a Beyond Beauty, our second annual Beyond Beauty brunch. That's going to be on Sunday, October the 22nd in the Lake Nona area. It's going to be fabulous. It's going to be fashion, faith, food, fun, fitness, and fabulosity. So I really want, you women, if you're interested, go to the website. You can click on the link. You can find us on Eventbrite. The tickets are there. So there you have it.
I'm excited. You all go to primadonnamagazine.com, or you can reach out on social media, or of course I will get you to Madonna. What a blessing to have you on this show. You have to come back as things are progressing. But God bless you, Madonna, and all you do. I think it's amazing. Y'all, this is what it's all about, giving back. And she's got a mission, and she knows where that mission came from. And that's a beautiful, beautiful thing. All right, everybody, have a good one. Reach out to Madonna at primadonnamagazine.com. We'll see you guys soon.
Bye, guys. Bye.